Hello guys, my name is Jonathan. I'm a realtor licensed in the state of Virginia. Today, I'll be reacting to some TikToks as well as giving my professional opinions. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So this first video says, when people think being a real estate agent makes you rich, but in reality I haven't closed anything in 3 months. And I'm having an inner panic attack every day because the bills are due, but I'm a chill girl so you can't tell. So this is very relatable as a real estate agent. Many consumers just think that we're printing money and we're getting tons of business, but really that's just the 1% of this industry. In reality, most people are struggling to even close one deal, especially nowadays. The time isn't like COVID time. It's not as easy as just putting the house on the market and having it sold 10 days later. And one thing people have to realize is that as a real estate agent, you have many jobs within it. You have a lot of things you have to be great at. One being content creation, which I'm learning each and every day. You have to learn how to manage. You have to learn how to market, which is half of the battle in my opinion. And which is really signifies this TikTok is you really have to become good at marketing yourself in a geographic circle. You need to be known as the local realtor. You need people contacting you. And as a new realtor, that's very, very hard to do, especially with many people who already own their home, have realtors that have helped them in the past, and they have that contact. And if that realtor is doing their jobs great, then they're continuing to stay in contact with these people. And this is a big thing in this industry is people think it's just easy. The money is being printed, but no, finding a client is really half the battle, and the other half is either helping you buy a home or helping you sell your home. So that's my opinion on this first real estate TikTok. Let's get right into the second TikTok.
In real estate, we're always asked how the market is, but nobody ever asks, how are you staying safe?
I think this is very true. This goes for consumers and also real estate agents. A lot of times safety is overlooked in this business, especially as a woman real estate agent. It really is easy to get yourself into trouble, and I've heard so many horror stories that you wouldn't even imagine happen. And you really have to stay on your toes. At the end of the day, the money doesn't matter above your safety. Safety is always priority.
Number one,
So
when
let's
a
see the
new
6
buyer or a
tips.
lead calls you and wants to see a property, be sure to ask the right questions to make sure they're legitimate. And always ask for a copy of their driver's license to verify who they are. Number two,
That's a great tip. The only thing I personally would feel a little uncomfortable asking for an ID of somebody, but again, I have a totally different perspective that I can't understand as a male. I feel like I'm not in that same dangers compared to a woman real estate agent. But definitely asking the right questions, making sure you know who your client is, because at the end of the day, a real estate transaction is a mutual transaction. So the client is choosing you as much as you are choosing your client. And again, money doesn't matter if you're not safe. Let's see the second tip.
hosting an open house, ask a colleague to join you. Be sure to have one person on the main floor to monitor who's coming in and out of the house.
Even asking a colleague to join you, it helps someone give you company. A lot of times, open house aren't sometimes they're not the most busy, so it's nice to have someone with you who can maybe door knock while you're in the open house folding down the fort, or vice versa, or one of you can help answer questions while other people come in the house, and then you guys are both multitasking, helping everybody out. I think it's great to bring a colleague not only for your safety, but just for a more pleasant experience for both you as the real estate agent and the consumer. Let's go to the third tip.
Number three, never park on the driveway. To avoid getting blocked in, always park on the street for an easy and quick escape.
Yeah, again, that's something that I personally am not super worried about. But again, I'm not in the same situation and I can't fully understand. But that is a fantastic tip.
4, let your loved ones know when and where you're planning to meet with a new client who you've never met before. Maybe share your location.
Fantastic. That one is even better. Let somebody know when you're doing somebody, especially when it's something that can compromise your safety. For example, I do door knocking, and whenever I do door knocking, I let somebody know where I'm going, when I'm doing it, and that just helps to keep your general safety, just so these people, your loved ones, can know you're safe while you're doing your job. Because at the end of the day, as much as it sucks, our job shouldn't be to be worrying about our safeties. It is in the type of world we live in now. So that's a great tip.
With them. Number 5, leave your valuables at home. There's no need to wear your most expensive watch when you're meeting with a complete stranger. I understand first impressions matter, but it's better to...
I don't know if I completely agree with the watch thing. I know many people bring their watch. I think and it helps you feel confident on what you do, and I feel like confidence is very important as well. So this one, I'm a little bit more iffy. And in terms of valuables in a general sense, I totally agree. You don't need to have everything on you, all these jewelry, but I think it's okay to dress nice and feel nice and have that confidence.
Be safe than sorry. And number 6, trust your gut instinct. If your interaction with a client seems weird or unusual, it's okay to say you feel uncomfortable and immediately end that conversation or meeting. There's no money that's worth putting yourself in a potentially dangerous situation.
I 100% agree with the last one. And this was an overall fantastic video. If you're feeling uncomfortable at all, if someone's giving you this bad energy and you feel an instinct to run away, then just walk away. You don't need to work with them. They don't need to work with you. They have plenty of other real estate agents, I bet, in your area that they can work with. But at the end of the day, your safety is important. And there are many, many, many stories. You can search it online. You can search it on YouTube. Many horror stories that have happened in terms of safety. And safety is a huge, huge problem in this industry. And again, especially for women. This was an awesome video. So thank you for the video. On to the third one. All right, so now we're on the third one. The video starts with "You're a Gen Z realtor." Well, let's see it.
So sorry I'm late. I was gonna cancel, but I didn't have enough time.
What happened to your car?
Yeah, the car thing is relatable. I mean, you have to understand, a lot of younger people are not super successful in this business, so we're just driving whatever can get us to point A to point B. But at the end of the day, someone's car shouldn't determine their expertise in their job.
Okay, let's see if we can get in here. You hold this?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, things are so hard to get
With the
your name
lock.
technically supposed to take off our shoes, but I'm not telling anyone.
Yeah,
So what kind of Ford
this
is it?
is what every older generation thinks how Gen Zs are. They think just a bunch of goofballs getting into the industry. From my experience, I feel like it's quite the opposite. It's us trying to learn and be as professional as possible. Well, I guess there's two ends of the spectrum. Then you go to one end of the spectrum where you're looking at these TikToks where people are slamming stuff, trying to be as engaging as possible for attention. So I guess there's two ends of the spectrum. But I bet that goes for any age.
Let me check on the list. Okay, the basement.
Yeah, I mean,
You go first.
that's something that I learned for my open house. I didn't do my prior research, and I had the papers printed, so that made it a little bit better. But no, it wasn't professional. Me being, hey, someone asked me a question, and it wasn't my own open house, but I was doing an open house for another agent, and yeah, I didn't know the information on the house. I just I accepted it the day prior. I didn't do any research tonight, and I couldn't answer any questions to the best of my abilities. I was just looking at the paper. Whenever someone left, I went back to trying to study the paper, but at the end of the day, I didn't have enough time. So it is embarrassing, and that's really true. Yeah.
It's in here somewhere. But I have upstairs.
I like this kitchen. When did they update it?
I'm literally checking.
Yeah,
Just give
same
me 1
thing for the
second.
kitchen.
This seems cool. Mind if I use the bathroom really quick?
And then the bathroom. Yeah, so one thing, I'm very paranoid, and I know it's very common. I've actually heard of a story of a realtor leaving not flushing after themselves, and then someone comes in, and so it's not, that's not professional at all. But I'm too paranoid to use the bathroom at an open house or at a showing. I'm not gonna touch anything. I can go to the gas station before or after, but yeah, I'm not gonna do anything in the house. I'm gonna leave it the way I came in it. Um, but yeah, no, that's a great video. That was a funny one. So this one is how much I've made my first 8 months of real estate. So we got 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, pretty much. Again, people and the average consumer believes that we're just raking in money, but no, we put a lot of work into our work. We put a lot of work into this job, and a lot of times most new real estate agents make $0. It's a real hard industry. And that's very relatable. I think a lot of realtors can relate to that, especially in the time we are now. It's very, very hard to sell and buy houses. I know it was estimated this year, 2025, that there's gonna be about, I believe, 70% of realtors quitting, or 60%. That was a pretty high percentage, and that has a lot of factors to it. But they part of that is this industry is hard, and it's getting harder and harder. And a lot of people don't realize that we pay to be realtors. We have to pay, and at least in my state and my brokerage, I have to pay to be a member of NAR. I have to pay for my MLS. I have to pay for my Century Lock. So I have to constantly pay, and if there's not money coming in, then for a lot of agents, what's the point of staying? Luckily for me, I'm working multiple jobs, so I can fund real estate and hopefully make it a semi-career. I don't want it to be a permanent career for me, but hopefully I can make it something sustainable in the future. But that's very relatable. Yeah, that was a great TikTok. Let's get to our second last video, our second last TikTok of the day. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Hi, I'd like to buy this $250,000 3-family, please. Yeah, I really doubt you can afford this thing. You're like fucking 18 years old. I most definitely can afford this thing. Yeah, I doubt it, but you need 20% down on this investment. Nah, I ain't putting 20% down. All I have to do is 3.5%, which is only $8,000. Oh, so you're gonna use your FHA loan. You know that means you have to live in this thing, right? Yeah, dickbag, I'm aware of that. I've done my research.
Yeah,
all I have to do is live in it for
a lot of profanity in this
and I'm gonna
video.
live for free that entire year because my tenants are gonna pay my mortgage. And then when I move out, I'm gonna have a cash flowing asset for the next 30 years. It's gonna make me over $1 million just because I made an $8,000 investment one time. Oh, well, I'll just go fuck myself.
Well,
before I do that,
so
where'd you
my
learn all
opinion
this?
on this
Oh,
video
I just followed Enterprise
is,
Solutions.
I think this content creator, and this is really not just an issue with this content creator, but with a huge amount of content creators, are not giving you the full story. He makes it sound way too easy. You're just gonna become 18, you're gonna put a down payment on a house, you're gonna rent it out, and the house is being paid for, you're gonna make tons of money, we're gonna be rich. But that's just not the reality of it. First of all, there's many things that can go wrong with having a tenant. There's more cost than just the 3.5% down on buying the house. There's many more costs. You have to get the right area. There's a lot of factors that have to go into it. And it does irritate me slightly because a lot of impressionable young people are watching this video, and they're gonna get into it with a realtor that doesn't care about their best interests and that are just trying to sell them the house. And same with a loan officer that doesn't care about their best interests and are just trying to sell them a house. And it really is gonna mess them up, and it's gonna mess their financial future up. So yeah, I mean, this may work for the 1% of 18-year-olds, but for a majority of people, they cannot buy a house, especially nowadays with 6.75%, 6%, 7% interest rates on a house, and just rent it out and call it a day. There's so many factors that go into it. You really have to think about it. Even if you're older, that is something you really have to think about. is, and you have to do your research. How much money does this area typically make? Is it worth investing in this area? How much will this house appreciate? How much will my tenants give me? What if problems arise? How much money will I put in the side of my tenants paying me? How much money will I put inside just to make sure I'm okay if anything comes up? Are the tenants paying for utilities? These are things that really matter, and it's summing everything up in a 45-second video saying that it's really easy and this realtor, which is him, but this realtor is dumb. No, I'm in the realtor side because it's important to educate your consumer, and there's a lot of problems that can go wrong about this. And if you have a realtor that really cares about you, they'll tell you it's not about the money. It's really making sure that we have a fiduciary duty to make sure that you're set for the future. And I don't want to sell you a house that you're going to call me a year down the line and regret it. So yeah, I don't agree with this TikTok, unfortunately. Alright, so we're on to our last video. The caption here is why 87% of real estate agents fail. So let's get into it. I'm already liking it.
Seems like everyone and their moms wants to become a real estate agent. My mom's actually a real estate agent, and so is my grandma, and my aunt, and my uncle. Everybody knows
Yeah.
one. And nothing
And I don't
against the real estate
know
industry,
exactly where she got
but
her statistics, but yeah,
87%
it's
of all real
a lot
estate
of
agents
people
fail
don't
in
realize
practice, and
how much
75% fail within
realtors
literally
quit
1
because
year.
it's
Like,
a
put that into
hard business. It
perspective.
really
You're spending
is.
all this time
It's not for
getting
the faint of
licensed,
heart.
going to open houses, changing your whole Instagram feed to become a real estate agent, just for 75% of you to hopefully make $100,000 and quit in the first year. And for the successful ones, like my mom is a very successful real estate agent. She hates the fact that she has 0 location freedom. Like, yes, you can work from your phone wherever, but we've all been on vacation with a real estate agent. They work on their phone 24/7. And you can't really live anywhere
I
else
mean,
because
that
you
is
have to have
something I experienced in my first sale. I have a video on that on the channel if you're interested. But on the first sale, I didn't actually get into this, but I put so much work and I was on call 24/7. I had realtors contacting me, my clients contacted me, problems that I had to fix. It, you have people come into the business thinking they have the freedom, which in an aspect you do. But once you're working with a client, that freedom reduces a lot, and now you have to work with the client and you have to work in their time frame, and that's what we signed up for. But it's not as flexible as people think it is. Maybe the marketing aspect is flexible. Maybe we don't have to spend as much time marketing. Maybe we don't have to spend as much time reaching out to people. But when you're actively working with a client, unless you have some assistant or someone you're hiring, it's a lot of effort, and the time isn't yours. They decide the time most of the time. How many times can I say say in a minute? But no, really, it's not what people think it is.
a client base that's in your area if you want to be successful. So personally, that's my reason on why I think a lot of people sign up for it and quit, because they're like, oh, this is so cool, I can get into sales, talk to people, it's cool, flashy, and they get into it and they're like, oh shit. If you're one of the 75% of people or 87% that has quit real estate in the last couple years, your skill set should not be put to waste though. You just learned the most valuable skill set that
Definitely in a factor, but there's so many factors as to why people quit. Like the example I gave earlier, it's all the dues we have to pay for. A lot of people just can't afford to be a realtor.
woman could possibly have. Sales. You're a badass. You know how to talk to people. You're showing up to open houses. Some of you are even going door to door farming. You need to be putting this skill set to use. I realize this because in my sales academy, there's like 60% of the women in there that are real estate agents. Some of them quit. Some of them are like full-time real estate agents and they just want to take sales calls on the side. For some context, I teach the girls how to take like remote sales calls on the side of their 9 to 5, their other sales.
I totally agree, and I definitely agree in empowering women, especially that that's a great point, saying that we build a lot of skill sets when we do this stuff. A lot of the work we do, even though we don't see the results, there is efforts being sorry, there is efforts being rewarded, just not in the way we see it. I think I'm gonna end the video here though, halfway through, just because I don't like the way she's talking about this academy. It sounds like someone trying to sell a course. I'm not for courses really. I'm not a fan of them. I think a lot of them are shams. You can find a lot of stuff you need online. But honestly, overall, great video. I definitely agree with that. Anyways, I appreciate you guys spending some time out of your day to hang out with me and watch these TikToks. If you liked it, please feel free to subscribe and like the video, and stay tuned for more videos like this. Goodbye.